Hi everybody, welcome back. In the last video we finished off finding our R value, our common ratio of 1/9. Now I'm going to take the original formula. Again, you can just pull the one that was up here. I'll plug it in again just so we understand. And you could pick either value. It doesn't matter. You could take T3 equal to 81 or T8 equal to 1 over 729. I'll take the first one. Again, like it doesn't matter which one you pick. So I'm going to take this formula. I'm going to copy it over. We're going to fill in what we have. Remember, we have 81, just like you see above here. T1, our R value we calculated. So we're going to do that now. I'm going to insert. Brackets are really important, as well as our fraction there. So there's where the 1/9 is entered. And our N value we know is 3 for 81. So that would be 3. I'll take that. I'm going to simplify that. 3 minus 1 is obviously equal to 2. This means that we square the numerator and denominator. So the next step looks like 81 squared is 1 and 9 squared to be 81. So I'll fix that and replace that, because remember we square the numerator and the denominator should be 1 over 81. And the final step to get T1 would obviously be 81. We multiply both sides by 81, so it'll be 81 multiplied by 81. Just a coincidence, that's the same number, the denominator here. And then we calculate our T value, T1, and that's going to, T1 is going to equal 6461. It asks for the Tn, the general term, so we're going to copy that formula again. Here it is. Let's take this one, so copy, take combination of both, so Tn is equal to Tn is equal to T1 minus, or multiplied by R to the N minus 1. So we fill in T1 as 6561, and our R value is going to be the 1/9. So I'll steal that. And again, it has to be in terms of, you don't put the 3 in here. This is just for the general term for solving for any of these. And there's your final answer for Tn. Tn is equal to, remember we put in T1, we put in R, we leave N. N is like X, Tn is like Y if you wish. And there's our final answer. All right, let's move along here to example number 7. Example number 7, it says, I'll get rid of some of this. This is where I had to fix example 8 from the previous video, so I'm going to eliminate this if you've already watched the other video. Well, I can leave it here. It doesn't make a difference. So the consecutive terms in the geometric series is determine the exact value of each term. It says T2 divided by T1 equals T3 divided by T2, because it's consecutive terms for the common ratio, right? So x plus 5 divided by x is equal to x plus 9 divided by x plus 5. Then we do our cross multiplication, multiply both sides by x plus 5. The x plus 5 is divided out, leaving it with x plus 5 plus x plus 5. On the left-hand side, multiply both sides by x, the denominator of the left-hand side. The x's will divide, and you'll be left with x plus 9. So this is just cross multiplication. We do our distributive property, x multiplied by x, x plus 5 is 5x. 5 plus x is 5x. 5 times 5 is 25. X times x is x squared. Plus 9 times x is 9x, which we learned in grade 10. And then I solve and I end up with x equal to negative 25. I insert that in for, so that's the first term, negative 25. I insert that in for the second term, negative 25 plus 5, I get negative 20. And I insert that in for negative 25, and I plus 9, I get negative 16. And there's my final answer. There's the 3 exact values of each term, the first 3 in the sequence. All right, so in example 8, I made a mistake in the previous video, so I'm going to fix that now. It says determine the height of the ball after the 5th bounce. It's actually, to make this right, it's the 4th bounce. Because if you think about it, after the 4th bounce, it's going to be the 5th height. So it's going to be n equal to 5. So this is actually going to be 4 plus 5. Okay? The 4 meter height is the T1, but that's after 0 bounces. So if the height is 4 after 0 bounces, and we're looking for the height after the 4th bounce, we need n to equal 5. So it looks like this. The 5th term will be after the 4th bounce, and I'll show you that when we do this on the board in class. But it makes sense. Think about it. So the initial height of 4 meters is 0 bounces. So term 1 is after 0 bounces. Term 2 is after 1 bounce. Term 3 is after 2 bounces. Term 4 is after 3 bounces. And term 5, which is the 5th height, is after the 4th bounce. So it's n is equal to 5. And that's why the exponent here is equal to 4. In the previous video, I forgot to do that with steps. That's my apology. So instead of changing all the work, all I did was I changed instead of saying after the 5th bounce, I changed it after the 4th bounce. Okay? And the same in number 9. Again, that's my apology. I do apologize for that. Just a little mistake on my part. Again, it says a farmer in Saskatchewan wants to estimate the value of a new combine after several years of use. A new combine is worth $400,000 and it depreciates in value by 10% each year. Determine the value of the combine at the start of the 6th year. So I'm going to switch this to the 5th year, and again, that will give me the 5 years plus the 1 equal to 6. Again, remember, after 0 years, it's 400,000. So T1 is equal to 400,000. So if I want to know the value after the 5th year, I have to find the 6th term. Okay? So instead of changing the question, all I did was I went to the 5th year. So we changed the question from 6th to the 5th, and that will fix the answer. Instead of changing all the work, I'll just change the question. And again, I'll talk about this more in class. For example 9, I do apologize for making, and I had to make those corrections. Okay? And it's good to see those mistakes anyway. And I did fix that here. So the beginning of the, you'll notice that 2012, and the difference is 8 years. But again, we have to add 1 to it. So it's 8 plus 1 equals 9. Because remember, at the beginning of 2012, it has a value of 8. After 1 year, then it's the new value, which is term 2. So that's where the number comes into play. And you'll see the 8 is here. And you'll do more of this in Math 12 or in the Pre-Calculus 12. We kind of get rid of this n minus 1. It just means that at 0 at the beginning, right? And you can't put a 0 in with the negative exponent. I guess you could, but it says at the 8 years. So that's the difference there, and I do apologize for the mistake. Number 10 was fine from the previous videos, but I made the switch here from example 9. I changed it to the 5th year, which still leaves it as n equal to 6, but you'll notice there's a 5 here. So that fixes that question, and the same with example 8. So I do apologize for that. I will just add this video in, and I will let you guys know about that. The corrections have been made on the keys, and I will talk about that in class, and I do apologize for the mistake. And like I said, it's okay to make mistakes, and we will do it from time to time. All right, so thanks for watching the correction videos, and I appreciate that. And we'll see you again in the next chapter. Thanks a lot.